At this point in Stellaris' life, becoming the Crisis is old news. But you know something we've never been able to do? We've never been able to become the Great Khan. Until today. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Pravus. Welcome to Stellaris Nomads. I've been looking forward to this one for a while because for once, we're going to play as an empire that is intentionally mobile and never settles down to create their own empire. It's a totally new way of engaging with Stellaris. Now, before we get started, I do want to say a big thank you to Paradox for sponsoring today's video. It's always very much appreciated. If you guys want to learn more about Stellaris Nomads, there will be a link in the description down below, and I would encourage you to click on that. Now, of course, the big draw for this DLC is the new nomadic government form. We are a species contained to one giant mobile arc ship traversing the stars. We shall claim no territory and settle no worlds. We are truly a nation without borders. And with that, we get a couple of interesting new civics as well as some traits, such as Reavers or Photo-Adaptive. But of course, I'd like to talk about the new origins, because this is where the fun begins, and there are 4 origins with this DLC. The Voidfarers are kind of your basic arc ship experience, but with enough modifiers to make your life a little bit easier. But of course, it's the roleplay that catches my interest. We have the Sacred Path, which is a nomadic spiritualists, traversing the stars, finding different holy sites on their journey towards spiritual enlightenment. Or you could play around with the Forever Cruise, where you have 2 different species, one of which are your passengers, and they are demanding entertainment at every turn. Your other species are the poor workers trying to keep everything afloat, and they're always on the verge of mutiny. But of course, I'm going to be playing around with the Heirs of the Khan. We were in line for the throne, but we were betrayed by our kin, and now we are being stalked by the Marauders.
Hello. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
I don't even know who you are.
If we can survive long enough to overthrow the usurpers, we could become the Khan and effectively become the mid-game Crisis, which is really cool. So I have created the Pariah Fleet for today's game. We are, of course, authoritarian, xenophobe, and militarist for the roleplay aspect, with a couple of new civics, including hired guns, which give us extra rewards from military contracts, because basically we are mercenaries for hire. It just makes sense. Also, caravan masters, which is really helpful for boosting up your early game economy. You'll see, it's totally different. For our traits, we have rapid breeders and unbreakable resolve for the extra stability. Also, recursive learners, which is new. That's going to give us extra job efficiency for every district on an arc ship. And depending on what kind of arc ship we have, civilian, scientific, or military, that determines what kind of efficiency we're going to get. I've also got a unique downside called terraphobic, which is basically going to make us a lot worse on any non-artificial worlds. To me, that just kind of makes sense. The big downside here is we're going to have pretty weak armies for invasions, but otherwise, I don't think this will be a problem. So let's begin. For as long as there has been a Khanate, our clan has been there. We were there for the triumphs, the great battles, the rise and fall of Khans. So when the time came to name a new Khan, we stepped forward to claim the throne. It was to be our moment, but instead we were betrayed by our closest allies. Our elders were slain, and the dream we bled for was stolen. Even now the usurpers are hunting us down, as if our very existence offends them. We are but a remnant of a proud lineage, but when we return, our vengeance will be tempered in the fire of our rage. Everyone likes a good revenge story, am I right? So here's our beautiful new ship. Think of it kind of like a planet. It does pretty much everything a planet normally would be able to do, except, you know, it can move. So from here, we can, of course, build out our different buildings, we can build out our districts, but we're going to be very limited on space, at least to start. There are going to be some options to expand the size of the arc ship, and that's going to be a pretty high priority for us. Now, in addition to the normal features and the population management and jobs, we also find that we are a shipyard, so we can build out our own science ships and corvettes and whatever else. Also, we'll have some systems and modules, boosting up our strength. But you might be asking, how the heck do you actually get any sort of an economy? Obviously, districts aren't going to be able to get us a whole lot. Well, you might think that the option is to be placing down a whole bunch of little mining stations, but that's kind of a problem because, well, I can't actually claim this territory. We will have no borders for the entire game. Instead, we're going to have something here called way stations, which are just like your normal stations, except they're pretty bad at defending themselves. But what they can do is install modules, such as the mining array or the solar array, and depending on what exists in this system, they're going to be passively gathering up these resources and putting them into their own stockpile. Whenever our arc ship is around, that stockpile is going to transfer into our coffers. Or if we're too far away, this is where logistics ships come in. You can set these up to collect resources or harvest resources directly from different points of interest in the map, and then bring them automatically back to the arc ship. So everything is going to be very decentralized. With that in mind, one of the most important things we can do right away is start surveying all the nearby systems. We want to find some really good stuff to justify placing down a handful of way stations. They don't have to be connected, though there are reasons to do so, which we'll talk about when we get to that point. Good news is, our arc ship also can do some surveying. So let's go ahead and send it off this way. Now we do start off with an event here, hyperdrives engaged. Basically we start up, but all of our aging systems have kind of some quirks in them. So this goes to our situation log where we can see that our arc ship readiness is not perfect, and we want to resolve 3 different issues. We want to decipher some signals in this case, we want to harvest some special resources, which I'll talk about later, and also survey some unique star systems. There are like 6 different missions you can do, and it seems to be 3 random ones each time, so your luck will vary. As we get started, I should also point out something unique for us, which is going to be the fact that we don't have any energy or minerals in our stockpile. Instead, we have something new for us called operational reserves. As long as the combination of energy and minerals is in the positive, this will continue to grow, and it functions like a situation. Right now, at balanced consumption, we get a little stability. Okay, that's nice. If we are rolling in resources, we can burn the excess, which is going to give us a lot of benefits. 50% job efficiency for specialists is huge. Or if you're running into a pinch, you could also conserve your resources, which is going to reduce your upkeep, but also job efficiency for kind of everything specialist related. Obviously, you want to have lots of resources to burn. That's how you prosper. Now, one other thing we can also look at here on the map is something called a contract. Right here, we can see that there is something called usurper activity. It seems the Kareem Marauders have set up an outpost. We could knock it out before they gain a foothold. Tempting. I'm also going to go over here, by the way, and say I don't care about 6 energy as much as I care about getting 5 more research. So I'm going to go ahead and swap this over to a research observatory, just so we can start stockpiling that instead. Oh, by the way, it's extra valuable to get yourself scientists with extra anomaly discovery chances, these guys. Because any opportunity to get more resources in a single star system just makes it a much better target for an early way station. So I highly recommend it. Another important thing to note is that most things on this ship are going to cost you alloys, so those are extra important for your nation. But the good news is a lot of buildings, such as research labs, only cost you some gas for some reason and no minerals, so it's fairly easy to set a lot of this stuff up, but you do need a lot of special resources. For our starting traditions, there are a couple of different options that could be good for us. I like statecraft more and more these days, especially if you can get some extra experience per skill level and stuff like that. It's not bad. Prosperity, of course, is always a good choice. Supremacy, if we're going to have a lot of early aggression. I think the discovery could be good for us, though. The survey speed is nice, but then you get to the extra 20% collection efficiency for your waypoints. And considering this is a major way of gathering up science in the game, I think this could be pretty good. Plus, we're faster at getting anomaly research speed, and we can map the stars for more anomaly discovery chance. Now see, this right here is a pretty good place to put down a way station. So I'm gonna go to this logistics ship over here and say, yeah, let's build that. That's a lot of science in one spot. And engineering research is especially useful to me. Don't worry, by the way, if you can't gather up all the resources to start, you will be able to upgrade these way stations once you get some certain technologies, and then you can add on more modules. Now, you might be wondering, what are we supposed to do about the fact that we need so many strategic resources? Well, there is an option for us. See, our logistics ships or our arc ship can go to some of these systems, and we can do something called harvesting resources. And depending what is inside of this system, you can see we'll gain a lot of resources. Almost 2,000 minerals here. Not to mention the gas, the crystals, and so on. The real downside here is you are going to make it so that any resources gathered here are reduced by 75% for 240 months. That's a pretty long time. So you can't just abuse this constantly. It's something you can only do every once in a while. Still, if this is a place you don't plan on putting down a way station, this is a good way of fueling your economy early on. Very strong. Now notice this. We have built another way station. Now we have a line between them. Ooh, what does that mean? This is something called a way line. Now basically what this means is if I were to bring our ARC ship to any point along the line, we can start gathering from the stockpiles from everything that's been connected, which you can imagine is very, very convenient if you want to gather up lots of resources quickly. The big downside with this is the larger the way line is, the more it's going to cost you to maintain, in trade specifically. Or at least I think that's how it works. So really big way lines are going to cost your economy in a big way. It's sometimes better just to go ahead and have them kind of staggered in groups of like 3 or 4. That way it's fairly quick to collect, but you're not breaking the bank. Now notice with some technologies here, we could boost up how many resources we get from harvesting, so that 2,000 actually becomes worth a fair bit more. We also have a special research here, which everyone can get, but we start with it because we're caravan masters, and that's improved wayline logistics. So more station capacity means more systems that I can colonize effectively and take resources. Plus, we can have more logistics ships that can carry more. It's useful. Not to mention, this is how we're going to upgrade our way stations into way ports, which means they can have more modules. Pretty good for us to get, though maybe not as important as getting powered exoskeletons so we can get robots. Now, do I want to go for prosperity now instead of focusing on getting discovery? Maybe. The extra 10% from harvesting actions is pretty good, but I'm really tempted to go for statecraft just because I think having that extra experience and stuff is really good, plus the council agenda speed. You'd be amazed how effective it is to have really strong leaders in this game. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. It's different, but let's try it. Now, the council agendas are especially important, I think, as an ARC ship because you have a couple things here that are gonna guarantee you unlock some really important technology. For example, ARC ship construction, 25%. If you want to be able to have another ARC ship, you kind of need this tech. Also, it's what's going to lead to our ability to expand our current ship. Uh-oh, hang on, something just happened. Familiar hunters, ever since we were exiled, we have waited on the pursuing ping to appear. There are bounty hunters on our tail, and they have the homebound in their sights. Yeah, so we can go for the attempt to leave, sublight speed, or we can just go for ship fire rate, which I think makes a lot of sense. So somewhere there is going to be an enemy ship that is approaching. They can sabotage some of your way stations, which is a big problem. But otherwise, they're going to make a beeline directly for the Ark. There he is. Good chance for us to go ahead and shoot him down. We do have a few hangar craft which are going to burn it away, I think. Otherwise, we aren't very strong yet, so we're mostly just running away. Hey, cool though. By defeating them, we get some unity. I like it. Once you spend a little bit of time exploring a lot of your immediate vicinity and looking for some good worlds, go ahead, by the way, and start exploring everything you can find around you. There are going to be a few really nice military contracts that you would like to pick up, and they can give you quite a lot of good rewards. Or other nations, if you meet them, will also issue contracts to you, which is nice. Our big goal, though, is to get all the way over here. These guys, the usurpers. Somehow I have to build up something strong enough to get all the way over this direction and beat them into the ground. Well, looks like we have some more marauders on their way. We're gonna have to deal with this guy. Now, every time we destroy some of these raiders, it kind of weakens them so that they can't send larger and larger groups after us. I think they get stronger if they have a chance to destroy your way stations, though, so that's a big risk. You gotta deal with them. Here, by the way, is our first of the wayports over here. So we do have 2 additional modules, which means now I can get the solar array. Not a lot else useful here. We could get some resource silos just so the whole way line is able to stockpile a lot more. That's not bad. Can't collect any food here. We do happen to have a nebula refinery, though, so yeah, sure, why not? More minerals and exotic gas. One thing that is a little bit crazy playing as a nomad, I mean, I'm, only a few years into the game, but I'd look at this and I'd say, my science is terrible, because it looks like it kind of is. And then, you have a sudden delivery of a few hundred extra science, and you leap forward by several months in research, and it's like, oh, that's not so bad. Okay, we have now found another player over here. So, we actually can still go into their territory, and believe it or not, we actually can even build waypoints within their territory. That will give them a casus belli to try to expel us, but as long as we're not antagonizing everyone around us, we can just kind of go wherever we want. One thing that's interesting from a balance perspective in this game is I do think that by starting in our little corner of space and not placing down any borders, it means that any nation that borders us probably is going to start running away with the game because they're going to have a lot of uncontested expansion opportunities. So that's something we need to be careful about, but it might be worth trying to, I don't know, subjugate these guys a little early. Ooh, look, a contract just popped up. Hello, help this get a new colony up and running efficiently. Okay, I guess if we were to do this and help fortify an outpost, they would give me a bunch of stuff. Some trust, some opinion, some resources, influence, blah, blah, blah. I mean, yeah, we could, I guess, kind of help them out. I don't really want to, because I think I'm going to conquer them. But I mean, like, just for the sake of, like, proving how this works. Okay, so I got an arc ship popping up over here. We're going to start working on this project. And we earn ourselves a little bit of extra resources. Cool. And then there's some science ones. What do I want? Do I want to go for the society or the physics? I could do both. Why not? Let's just do it. One really good thing to do, by the way, as the nomads, if you happen to find some curators, not only can you get yourself some additional science, but if you set up a waypoint next to them, get their relations high enough to allow for a think tank, you can place this down, which gets you a whole bunch of not only physics, society, and engineering, but also more research speed and a chance for rare technologies. Really, really good to have. Okay, I've managed to get the technology for arc ship construction, which is not the technology we need to upgrade the arc ship. Unfortunately, that needs arc ship engineering. But if I wanted to, we should now be able to construct a megastructure, another military arc ship. Costs 10,000 alloys to do this. Little pricey. Now, while I could, of course, start building up some arc ships, the thing I'm tempted to do is go ahead and start eating these little losers and turn them into vassals. Because that is something I would strongly benefit from. And they're fairly weak, and I haven't even built a single ship. This is just my one arc ship that's stronger than them. We can take them. Oh, hello. This is also something new with this DLC. The Champions Forge Live! I guess it's basically a giant naval battle arena? Periodically, we can just send some of our ships to go and beat each other up in a gladiator fight. Never done it before. Could be a cool way of getting some rewards and testing our pilots. Now, can we think of any reason not to just go ahead and kill these guys since they're pathetic? I guess only because they have some sort of a buddy, but like, that's it. Like, who cares? Let's vassalize them. And joke's on you, I'm already in your base, killing your dudes. That's easy. There we go. Took a while, unfortunately, and we did take these guys as a vassal. Kind of painful, because if you are relying on your arc ship to lead the charge, guess what you're not doing? Getting much of an economy, which kind of sucks. But I have access to cruisers now, which means I'm going to be able to get the big boys. I think it might also be worth trying to just build out a new arc ship now. It's just time to go ahead and grow our population. So let's pop over here and get another one. There's my next arc ship. Okay, we've got two of these puppies. Arc ship engineering is about to be done, at which point, yeah, now we can start upgrading things. Okay, so if we go to our ship controls, I need influence, lots of it. Still, you can see what it's going to do for us. Not only does it make our ship a lot stronger with better shields, hit points, evasion chance, we also get more modules, buildings, districts, and so on. It's just, you know, very, very, very expensive to do this. Oh, this is interesting. So I ran into another marauder group over here. They're not even that far from me. Can they help us against these guys? No, you're far too weak. Well, fair enough, but the idea that maybe, just maybe, I can get the marauders to actually help me retake this throne would be kind of cool. That said, they're not wrong. I am way too weak for that still. This arc ship, by the way, is just ridiculously strong at this stage. It's not quite like having a Titan very early on. It's not that good, but like, it's got so much HP and so many shields that corvettes just fall before it. All you have to do is just bring along enough ships to support and you're good to go. Now let's see, we could get ourselves another civic slot. What would make sense for us here? We could get deep sleep, which is something new. So you actually start with a huge amount of pops, but they are mostly all in deep sleep and you have to actually break them out of their cryopods. That's an interesting idea. I don't know. Not a lot here really appeals to me. Starseekers, sublight speed, 20% is pretty fun, but Warrior culture would make sense. I don't think it's that great. Honestly, I'm having so many issues with trade and stuff, I'm kind of thinking that maybe just masterful crafters here. Yeah, aside from like maybe distinguished admiralty, I don't see a whole lot of benefit in most of this. I'd rather just have my economy under control. Oh, this is good to know, by the way. So, under Ascension perks, I was wondering if Voidborn was going to come up, since, you know, we don't exactly build habitats, but sure enough, it does. More districts, build cost, modules, and so on. That's kind of nice, I guess. Then there's Wanderlust. More districts, leader upkeep, tradition costs, and visit remarkable systems to unlock modifiers? Oh, I have to know what that is. Begin the nomadic Wanderlust event chain. I'm gonna try to take these guys down as a vassal as well, just so I have a nice, clear path to the Marauders for when I'm ready. And then what I really need is just to build up a massive amount of naval capacity, because this is gonna be a tough fight. I mean, like, how strong do we think these guys are? They got at least 30-some thousand fleet power right here alone, let alone multiple systems. Yeah. This is nowhere close to being done. But we can make this easier if I start building out more arc ships. How about a science arc ship? There we go. I want to see if this works here, by the way. My new vassal has built arc furnaces in several places, which means there's a huge amount of alloys and minerals to be had. If I just build a waypoint here, can I just literally piggyback off the whole thing? Holy crap, it does. Oh my god. Okay, arc furnaces. Amazing with way stations still. That's good to know. Now, I do have the final upgrade for our homebound capital arc ship here, which does mean we get access to a spinal mount. Got a couple options here, though. Could go for a capital shipyard, which would be a way of, you know, building up some of the big ships, Titans and stuff later on, or we can get ourselves a Devastator mount and effectively become a Titan. And oh boy, this guy does a lot of damage. Kinda want to get one of these, to be honest. I think we're gonna. I'll get capital shipyards later. Oh, that is pretty. All of a sudden, my capital ship is now 33,000 power by itself. That's a pretty strong ship, guys. And I think it even has the graphic of having the cannon on the inside here. That's pretty cool. Good lord, strip mining is really powerful, by the way. One world here just got me, like, 2,000 alloys, credits, 4,000 minerals. Ooh, yeah. I mean, I feel like what's weird is even though I don't control any territory directly, between the logistics of the waypoints and then just the ability to start harvesting everything else, like, my economy has not been suffering. 4.3 completely reworked so much of the in-game economy, and yet somehow I feel like I'm doing just fine and dandy. Anyway, let's go ahead and launch this agenda. So for 13 years, 25% more damage against Marauders is going to be very useful. And before we go any further, let's revisit some of our vassals, because one of the fun things we can do as the heir to the Khan is we can create a new type of vassal, the satrapy, which basically means they are also obligated to give me some of their resources by default and more ship capacity. I won't be able to take their science and stuff, but honestly, I'm kind of okay with that. More ship capacity just means more cruisers to blow out the Marauders. So that got me an extra, what, 60? Yeah, 66 or so naval capacity. Okay, that's a good start. Well, at this point, I think I'm about as strong as I'm going to get for a while. I've got 2 military arc ships. One is a lot stronger than another, but that's okay. Plus, I've got 2 fully decked out fleets of very good corvettes and cruisers. That should be enough strength. It's about 100,000 or so. Let's see what we can do. I'm just curious what this giant beam weapon's gonna be able to do, you know? Looks like it should be pretty good. It feels like a Titan, that's for sure. Get 'em, boys! Get 'em! Destroy the traitors! Oh, vengeance is indeed very sweet. We lost a couple of corvettes out of the arrangement, and that's it, which I can immediately replace because, well, my arc ships are right here. So at this point, I guess we just continue our own personal crusade? I mean, sure, yeah, why not? We'll just completely turn the tables. What's this, by the way? Space fauna. Do you think I care about your space fauna? Actually, yes. As long as we're under contract, I get a fire rate increase. So technically, just taking this and then doing nothing about the amoebas means I'm fighting at an even stronger pace. So this is gonna be the big fight right here. And here comes my glorious arc ship. Baby, I'm home! No, don't go so far forward. Gosh dang, that's insane. Just, you know, stay back here a little bit. Let the main fleet do all the hard work. You can just shoot things with your giant beam, you know? That's why we have giant lasers. Oh, I think all their battleships are getting obliterated, which leaves only a handful of stations. They're all going down. Yeah, I've lost quite a few more ships this time, but it's still not that bad. This realm is mine. Got it. Okay, next. Dude, I love that I can just reinforce right here on the front lines. This is amazing. Get riggedy wrecked. All right, we have forced the issue, ladies and gentlemen. The end of the Kirim Marauders. The Pariah fleet has destroyed the last of their massive space stations. Glorious! In search of revenge! The ragged remains of our Marauder clans have come to us. It seems after the fall of our home, it was convenient for them to forget our exile. Their plea is simple. Take the seat of Grand Khan and burn the name of our people into the stars of all who have wronged us. Though smaller than any proper Grand Khanate fleet, what they are offering is still everything we once wanted. All we have to do is declare the entire galaxy our enemy. Well, the good news is I never joined any federations or galactic community because I thought that was stupid. So this costs me absolutely nothing. Though, of course, the entire galaxy might decide that they want to come up against me. What just happened? Why do I now have this? Hello? The Huskarl Horde? Hold your reinforcements until we call for them. Pardonnez-moi! What did I just gain over here? We've got a bunch of little tiny small outposts. Are you gonna build a glorious fleet? Oh, also my entire government just got reworked. I am in fact now the Great Khan. Which honestly doesn't even feel like that strong of a job, but I mean, like, don't tell them that, it's fine. So at this point we get a whole new casus belli that I can use. The Call of the Satrapies. So basically, the war is waged to subjugate the galaxy, the drums of war have sounded, and everyone is to be our satrap. Yeah, cool. I like this. It's not necessarily a total war CB, which is, you know, honestly a pain to deal with anyway. So, sure, yeah, permanent casus bellis against everyone sounds great. And I don't see any reason not to immediately kill these little guys since they only have one planet, you pathetic little fools. Easiest war of my life? Thank you. Oh, and interesting. All of my vassals automatically converted into being satraps. Okay, yeah, that's kind of convenient. It's also a slight problem that just made them all incredibly disloyal, but I mean, like, don't sweat the small stuff. Who cares if they like me? Oh, it looks like my little horde over here is immediately retaking all their former territory, by the way. Okay, that's good, yes. Anything that lets you just build out large fleets that I can then throw at the galaxy, that'll be awesome. Wait, what is this, by the way? Are they giving me ships? I think they might be here. I just got a couple of battleships I definitely did not build. Are they any good? I mean, they're all right. It's not great. I could do better. But hey, free is free. Whoa, what are you doing to my naval capacity, though? Guys, don't do that. It's gonna cost my economy so much if they don't stop doing that. Jeez, dude, I need to have soldier jobs everywhere. Good lord, these guys just keep supplying me with more and more ships. I'm up to 1,500 naval capacity all of a sudden. Guys, I literally cannot handle this many. I need to go conquer people. I need to go conquer people fast. Oh my gosh, they just keep pumping out fleets. For real, they actually do. Can we hold off on reinforcements or something for a minute? Like, I appreciate what you've given me so far, but you're literally crashing my economy. Look at my horde go over here, by the way. They are claiming more territory. Excellent. Grow bigger and stronger for me. When I need it, I'll call in all those reinforcements. This really is like becoming a crisis. And it really didn't take that long either. It's 23:30, roughly. I mean, I feel like we're in pretty good time, and about a third of the galaxy is already subjugated. And this guy's got everyone else as his vassal, so if I take him down, we're not that far off from being able to just subjugate the rest of the galaxy and then just deal with the Fallens. Yeah, these guys are pathetic compared to me, even if they do appear to be an offshoot of my race. You all became a democratic, hegemonic imperialists? Look, I appreciate the imperialism effort and everything, but you guys got weak and soft. I'm gonna straight up kill you. Oh yeah, it's not even fair, dude. My military arc ships alone can take this guy out. If anything, I'm just being slowed down by all the stupid new reinforcements I got for free. They're good ships and all, but they're slow. Oh, these guys actually do have a fleet. What do you know? Turns out they've got something. It's enough to maybe be a threat to just my arc ship by itself. But not with my reinforcements, buddy. Uh-oh. We've been declared the galactic crisis. This surprises no one who's been paying any attention. What's weird is that somehow my horde is taking over a ton of land. Oh god, are we in total war? Are we? Are we in total war? Yep. We're in total war. Great. This is my favorite way to play the game. Yes. Oh, and I have to worry about these stupid other arc ships too. Right. My economy is looking surprisingly okay. Guys, it's time to start sending me more reinforcements. Load her up! So this means that turning these guys into satraps no longer is possible, right? I have to actually, like, conquer the entire galaxy now? Fortunately, it looks like a lot of people already want to get out of this. They're like, this is a terrible plan. No, we'll pay to leave. None of them wanted to be involved in this in the first place. I don't blame you. I am kind of surprised that I'm still allowed to work toward being something like a galactic nemesis, since I already kind of feel like I am the Crisis. Thought that was disabled, apparently not. For what it's worth, though, if we were playing as anyone other than the Khans, there is a new ambition you could pursue, which is basically galactic paragons. A way of defending the galaxy with paladins. Kind of a way to be the good guy for once, which is cool. Anyway, as fun as it would be, we're going to try to avoid being the Crisis this time around. Let's just make sure we're able to deal with fallen empires eventually. And I'm about to unlock some Titans as well. And holy crud, I managed to get Psionic Theory on top of everything else. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's just go for some Psychics. Okay, I mean, at this point, can we just say that I'm basically unchallengeable? I've got 2,400 naval capacity, a full 1,000 more than I can theoretically handle. Yeah, my economy, for the most part, is doing okay. If I could just throw some fleets against, let's say, a fallen empire, I'd be fine. But at this point, it's kind of nothing but busy work. There's nothing the galaxy has that can stop me. Nothing except for the fallen empire. And eventually a mid-game crisis if it were to come. So I think this kind of proves the incredible power of the Khans. The only thing that makes me sad is we didn't get the Khan's throne. I feel like we should have had that. Also, if you're gonna go down this route, just be prepared for the massive naval capacity issue. Like, for real. I mean, like, it really could have messed us up pretty bad. We're okay right now, but it could have messed us up. But ARC ships are strong, way stronger than I would have expected. Our economy did so dang well, and I could be building out more ARC ships if I so desired. I'm just getting too lazy to deal with them all. This is fun. It's really fun. I like the nomadic playstyle. My only real concern from a balance perspective is kind of something I alluded to before, which was the fact that I just kind of had a giant corner of space to myself with nothing spawning nearby. Theoretically, that could give empires the chance to spread a lot wider than they should be able to. That said, is that really that big of a deal, especially since they already reworked so much of the way that the economy works, where playing wide is not quite as mandatory as it used to be? I don't know, maybe. Maybe it's more of a hindrance. But there's absolutely no design that this was a fun way of effectively becoming the Crisis, without needing to, actually become the Crisis. Hail to the Khan, baby. All right, thank you all very much for watching this video. I hope you found this instructive, and now you have some ideas what you can do with these glorious ARC ships. And of course, I do want to say a big thank you to Paradox for sponsoring today's video. You can find a link in the description down below if you would like to learn more. Otherwise, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.